Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of Fish Tank and Friends. Where are they now? It's a little overcast today. I'm out in front of my house. There's a shot of my house, kind of the street I live on. Hope you guys liked the video I put out yesterday. I'm going to try to do one a day here for the next little while. I know, shocker, huh? Gotta have Allison's help, so I do what I can, and then she fixes everything that I screwed up when she gets home. But she doesn't get home till this evening, so we'll see. But no, in video 1, you guys saw Hollywood, you saw Sash, and you saw Maui. You saw what those 3 guys are up to, from Hollywood up to Lake Arrowhead, clear to Chicago, Illinois. Real quick, let's just jump right into it. Let's bust all the way up to Boston and talk to the one, the only, Superstar.
Hi everyone, Superstar here. I moved back to Boston after hiking the PCT, and I've been here since then. Currently working a 9-to-5 job, taking a class in human development, and then I start a master's program in occupational therapy in June. So I'm very excited about that. My favorite memory with Fish Tank from the PCT is when we were hiking the aqueduct coming out of Hikertown, and the sun was setting. It was me, Fish Tank, and Little John, and I was on the ground next to the aqueduct, but Fish Tank was like way up high, and he's listening to music. We all just had a sort of dance off, and we were all in good moods and feeling light and happy and free. And I look up and I'm videotaping Fish Tank, so I have a video of this, and all of a sudden he goes, "Be happy." So he's singing along to "Don't Worry, Be Happy," and it was just an iconic moment of what it feels like to be on the PCT and to feel free and happy and no worries in the world. So that's my favorite memory of Fish Tank on the PCT, and I'm so excited that he's going back to finish the trail this year. Wish I could do the same, but it'll have to wait till after school for me. So hope everyone's doing well. Bye.
Oh, Superstar. I love this girl. First of all, I gave her name. She had been trekking with us for a little while with Little John and I, and she didn't have a trail name, and I said, "You're a Superstar," and then she said, "Well, I can do the Superstar pretty good." Morning, everybody. Me and Emily both started talking at the same time. We think we have a trail name for this young lady because she knows how to do Superstar. She even does the whole pretty good. So she did that, and the name was born. And I knew she accepted the name because later that day she got a little bit ahead of us. I think it was when we were just coming into Casa de Luna, and we come off the mountain and we're getting ready to hitch, but right there's a trail registry, and so she was there maybe 10-15 minutes before Little John and I. We opened the trail registry to Little John and I to sign it, and she signed it Superstar. So a name was born, and it came from me. So, but I love the memory. The LA Aqueduct, man, that was so incredible. It's in my top 5 all-time favorite days of hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. That includes when I did all the high Sierras and all those epic passes. There was just something about the desert floor and being on that aqueduct. And I walked the entire length of the aqueduct. And I wouldn't recommend it because the shape of it and the little bolts that are holding it together just chewed my feet up. But man, it was so much fun. My favorite memory of Superstar is just exactly that. Beside the fact that she's awesome, she's cute, she's always positive, and she's so much fun to be around. She had her video camera rolling, and with the video that she gave me, and you guys just saw that section of it when I was singing for Bobby McFerrin, "Don't Worry, Be Happy." A little later on, or maybe it was a little bit even earlier in that video clip, it got to a point I was able to freeze frame, and it gave me, to date, probably one of my top 2 or 3 pictures of the entire Pacific Crest Trail yet. It's a picture of me walking, and the sunset is going down way in the west, and the sun is just huge. It was so hot that day, and as I'm walking, I crossed right in front of the sun, and we were able to freeze frame it, and there's just this awesome silhouette. And yeah, I get chills just talking about it. I just love that photo that she was able to capture. It's one of my favorite memories of being with Superstar, and I appreciate her doing that. One thing about her is funny, she lugged around this big professional type camera, so the rest of us are all trying to be super light and, you know, using our phones or the GoPros, and she's got this big old camera around her waist. But yeah, she got some great pictures. So happy you're doing well up in school up in Boston. I think it's next month she starts her master's program, so that's totally cool. I know she'll be following me on my journey, so love you like a sister, girl. It was just so wonderful hiking with Superstar. She was one of those people that just made the trail crazy epic. All right, let's stay on the female theme here. And I met this girl later up on trail, almost right before I came home. I actually was hiking alone when I came upon this group, and you guys know her as Pink. So let's drop into Las Vegas, Nevada, and let's see what Pink's up to.
Hi Fish Tank, Pink here. Greetings from Las Vegas, where it's finally warm and sunny again. We had such a long, cold, dark, windy, snowy season, and finally getting back to normal, which is exciting because it makes me think about summer and getting back on the PCT. I'll be doing a segment hike with Turtle and Magic Man again. We'll be leaving from Echo Summit and making our way to Soda Springs. That'll be the segment that I'm doing anyway, and it's about 7 days on the trail. A few days longer than last year, and I can only hope that our hike this year is as much fun as you made our hike last year. It was such an honor and a privilege to have you stay with us last year for the 4 days that we hiked together. And I think what really made it exciting was your storytelling. Each day at the end of our hike, we got to listen to your stories of your travels on the PCT to that point, the people that you have met, stories about your retirement, and of course your beautiful family. So it really just was like having a comedy show at the end of each day, and that just made it so much fun. I think part of the hike that was maybe the most exciting was, I want to say it was like day 3 or 4, the one day that we actually had some rain, and the storm started to roll in as we were hiking across this wide open exposed ridgeline, and then all of a sudden the thunder clapped like right on top of us, causing us all to levitate. And I think you pretty much led the pack running down that hill to get out of that exposure. And I don't think I've ever seen a group of people move so quickly with so much weight on their backs. But we got to our campground safe and sound, and in time for another storytelling by our favorite PCT thru hiker. So thank you for the joy that you brought to our hike last year. I understand you'll be hiking with Turtle and Magic Man in June. If I get the opportunity to at least see you guys, if not get a day hike in with you, that would be fantastic. But in the meantime, hope all of your preparations are going well, and I hope to be able to see you over the summer. Good luck with your hike on the PCT. Take care.
I don't even know if I ever told Pink this, but as I came around the corner, I don't know if you guys have ever heard, but hikers, your sense of smell gets very heightened. And that's, you know, it's probably due to the fact that we just don't smell deodorant and cologne and perfume and toothpaste and shampoo for so long. And it also could have something to do with the fact that we stink so bad that we've done something to the old olfactory senses. But I came around a corner and I actually got a whiff of just, I could tell it was just something pretty. It was perfume or hairspray or something. As I came around the corner, I smelled it first, and I came around the corner, that's when I met Pink. There she was, sitting there with Turtle and Magic Man, and I know it wasn't Turtle and Magic Man that I was smelling. So, kind of interesting story. I don't think I ever told you guys that, but I smelled you guys before I ever saw you, so kind of weird, but it's the truth. But no, Pink, the pleasure was actually all mine. You said something in your video that was such an honor to hike with me. No, the honor, quite honestly, the honor was all mine. I'm a very social creature, and I can hike by myself. I've done it. I don't prefer to do it. So when I came around that corner and I smelled you guys, saw you guys, it was just so nice to talk to you for a minute and get that invite. Hey, would you like to trek with us? And I waited all but about 1/8 of a second before jumping on the absolute yes, let's do it. It was just an absolute pleasure to get to know Pink as a person and just hike with that group and her for those 4 days. It was great. It was actually really sad when we got into South Lake Tahoe. We went to a little like a sports bar thing. Me and Pink and Turtle and Magic Man and it was just great to kind of end our trip together. You know, with a drink and some hot wings. It was just fun. Probably my best and my favorite story. So my favorite story of hiking with Pink has to do with a photo, and I know she knows which one I'm talking about. So we were up on top of this ridge, and you know, 1,100 plus miles. I'd learned a thing or two about taking pictures on trail, and I was just taking some random pictures, and I took one of the pictures and I made it, I was either sepia or black and white, but it just turned out to be just a really great, simple picture of Pink on her fold-away lawn chair up on top of this ridge. And what made it special was she didn't know I was taking it, and I think the black and white contrast. I ended up giving it to her, and I noticed that you used it on your Facebook like profile picture for quite a while, and that was an absolute honor. But you know, when you're taking a picture of Pink, how can you take a bad one, right? But no, we just Pink said it best. We had such a good time, the four of us, telling stories, and hiking with those guys. It was nice because I'd done, you know, over 1,000 miles with other thru hikers, and people attempting to do the whole thing. And last year it was very difficult with the fires and everything going on and injuries. To hike with those guys, I got to see a different mentality. It wasn't about miles every day. And I'm not knocking the thru hiker mentality. I did it, and I'm going to be doing it again. In fact, I've got to do more this year than I did last year. But it was nice hiking with some people that it was, on trail we called it smiles, not miles. And it was just nice to hike with them and see a different mentality than, you know, we've got to get 20 today, we've got to get 17 today, we've got to get 25 tomorrow, we've got to get to this location. It was, let's do 10 to 12, let's get to this great epic camping spot, and let's just set up camp and have fun talking. And which gave us some time to tell some, you know, I developed some stories over 20 years of law enforcement, but most importantly, 1,000 miles of the Pacific Crest Trail, and those guys were all ears, and it was a great outlet for me to be able to talk to them. And Pink, I just love you to death. I respect you as a person and as a hiker, and I will always consider you a friend. And like they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So if I ever get in trouble in Las Vegas, you're going to be the first one I call. So, but no, appreciate it so much. Thanks for being part of the video. Thanks for making the last part of my 1,200 mile trek last year so incredibly epic. And I just mean that from the bottom of my heart. All right, let's leave Las Vegas and let's boot, scoot, and boogie right up to California, the state that all this started in. In fact, appropriately, these two individuals were the very first two people I met on trail. In fact, I actually met them about 3 or 4 months before the trail started. I'm talking about Adam and Jessica. They go by Skidmark and Chief. And I always had a hard time calling you Skidmark because it just paints this picture that sadly thru hikers understand. So I always just call it just Skid, but it is Chief and Skidmark. Let's see what you're up to.
Hello there, it's Chief, and this is my friend Dennis. Right now we're walking in beautiful Green Valley, California, right next to the Napa Valley. Take a little span, nice springtime, green grass, pretty poppies. And And I'll tell you how I met Dennis. Actually was very PCT-like, very trail-like, hiker trash-like, because he was a substitute teacher in my niece's classroom, was talking about the PCT, and then my niece told him that her aunt had hiked the PCT, and I told Kayla, my niece, to give Dennis my phone number, and he showed up at my work when I invited him to come in and say hi, and we chatted, and here we are. We are now walking buddies.
Hi.
And Dennis is headed out actually on Friday because he's going to spend the summer section hiking the PCT, and we actually think now he may do all of Oregon.
I'm thinking about it, thinking very hard about it.
Yes, so we'll cheer Dennis on as he goes. Hello, it is Chief and Skidmark. We wanted to do a really cool video, like out doing something awesome, but pretty much our life is this right now. We're both just working our asses off, saving up for our next big adventure and our wedding, hanging out with the dogs. Hi, Hudson. Hudson, hi. Okay. And there's Bella down there. Yes, you're cute. Anyway, so we're just kind of hanging out. What's a favorite trail memory with Fish Tank?
Paradise Valley Cafe when he thought the drunkards were gonna kill us.
So I don't know, I'm sure you know, but Fish Tank is a retired law enforcement, and the night that we got to Paradise Valley Cafe down, what's that in between? Right before Idlewild, we spent the night there, and Fish Tank was like, you know, it's on a corner of this highway, and Fish Tank was, we were sleeping on the porch, by the way, on the front porch, and Fish Tank was like, oh, I can just see some drunk driver just coming around the corner and, you know, running us over in our sleep. And then he was gone for a little while. I guess he was on the phone, but we were joking about how he was probably getting in touch with local law enforcement and setting up a perimeter. So that was fun times. Also, the first day that we met Fish Tank on trail was in Julian, and we had a really awesome dinner that night in this little Airbnb with a bunch of hikers, and that's when Chef got her name, because she made some really bomb spaghetti, and we just pigged out, and yeah, it was great. Good times on the trail. We'll see what's in store for us in the future. Maybe another thru hike, I don't know. Bye, say bye.
Love you guys.
Love you all.
Hey Chief, Skid, great video. Hey, and for the record, had a drunkard, as Adam put it, I don't think I used that word. I think I used like intoxicated individual, but had a drunkard blown through that intersection, flipped their car 50 or 60 feet, it could have killed all of us. Yeah, that's good times. No, love you too. So interesting story about Chief and Skidmark. So I actually, these guys, the first people I met on trail. In fact, I met them a couple months prior online. We talked for 2 or 3 months before the trail. They started on April 4th and I started on April 6th. I really had to push it hard from Campo because my goal was to catch up to them, and their goal was to go slow enough that I would be able to catch them at mile 77, which I did. It was great. I pushed it too hard, too fast from Campo to try to catch up with these new friends of mine, to where when I got to Julian, my knee was pretty bad. In fact, I even went and saw a doctor. This doctor didn't know what he was doing. He told me I needed to get off trail. Turns out it was an IT band issue, but I was feeling pretty demoralized when I got to Julian. So I walked over to Carmen's, and it was closed, but they allow hiker trash inside. So I walked into this Carmen's, this restaurant pastry shop place, and there's probably 50 to 75 hikers in there. I just yelled, "Jessica!" and the place just went silent. And then from clear across the end of the store, I hear, "Jason!" So it was really cool, and it was through Adam and Jessica that I met Fine Schmecka and Chef and Yukon and The Machine and Cheesecake and that whole group that started on the 4th. So it was the beginning of something really, really great. Funny story I have about these guys is we were, it's the Paradise Valley Cafe again. So we're leaving Julian, and we had X amount of days to get to like Mike's Place, but then ultimately the Paradise Valley Cafe. And word on the trail was these hamburgers and fries and drinks were like some of the best, and we were super, super hungry. Me and Feinschmeck and Chef, we realized back at Mike's Place, there's just no way we're going to get to the road to hitchhike into the Paradise Valley Cafe in time to get our hamburgers before they closed. So we kind of gave up running. We just knew it wasn't going to happen. I want to say they closed at like 4 o'clock, and we had like 10 miles to do in 2 hours or something like that. Skidmark, he basically runs the entire trail. He gets down there. So when we get down there like at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, there's 20-something hamburgers and fries and drinks, and he just bought for everyone. Now we paid him, but he got down there early, ran in and says, I got a whole tramley coming down. We need 20-something burgers, 20-something fries, 20-something drinks. So I remember, Feinschmeck and Chef and I, we come wheeling into the Paradise Valley Cafe, and they're closed, and these guys are setting up their homeless camp on the front porch, and they invited us in, and we had food, and it was great. Now, love you too. Thanks so much for being part of the video. Thanks for being part of the 2018 experience for me. Wish we could have hiked together longer, but as hikers realize out on the trail, you guys hiked faster than we did, and it's hike your own hike. But the time I did spend with these two, it was awesome, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. Love both of you. So thanks. So that does it for video number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it, looking back into the lives of what some of these people are doing. There'll be another episode come out shortly, but until then, please thumbs up, please like it, please comment. I love hearing from you folks. And I'm going to say, I hope this finds all of you healthy, happy, and well. For now, Fish Tank out.